what do you call it? A stage set for the French forces to come to Nigeria and teach Nigerian pilots there how to fly the fighter jet. They also signed a deal called Critical Mineral Resources MOU on critical mineral resources, which has now led to Nigeria lifting ban on the mining, lifting ban on mining in Zamfara and some other places. French companies that were operating in the Niger Republic, in Burkina Faso, in Mali, who have been kicked out of the place, they are going to be in Nigeria. Some of them are already setting up shop in Nigeria. And that didn't come for free. When that Nigerian president said they gave Tinubu substantial amount of money to accept this, he is right. You know what? The next 2 years, France will give Tinubu 300 million euros. This is how they packaged the deal. Tinubu, as your president, will determine where France should put their money the next 2 years, as French companies will now take over some mining locations across northern Nigeria. It's part of the deal. It's called MOU on critical mineral resources like uranium, gold, what have you. That's part of the deal. This is what they will be getting again from Niger. So Ribadom said, since Nigeria history, Nigeria has never allowed any country to come and set up base in Nigeria, which is true. Okay. But they don't really have to set up base. He said, when Nigeria rejected them, Niger accepted them. So if Niger is having problem with France, does that then mean that Nigeria must have problem with France? If France is going to help them to fight Boko Haram, bandits, IPOB, and all of this, that's what he said. Oh, so should they reject them? Maybe Nigeria has been in a joint relationship with Chad, this Niger, even Cameroon before. Nigeria is a sovereign country that can have relationship with any country. That this man is failing. The man that said he rejected France is embracing Russia. He's an hypocrite. He should face his own people, because every time the people are asking him to deliver what he promised them, he will begin to look for excuses by blaming France. That if Niger rejects France, must Nigeria reject France? Oh, he didn't finish there. Remember, he had to address his people in Hausa too. Because now that Hausa land up north, now there the Rogbodion, they happen right now. The likes of Ribadom, Idris, and some of these guys, by the end of 2025, next year, majority of them will likely begin to lift Tinubu's government. I have seen this before. Or they will stay on and just rock the boat from within. Here is what the Idris had to say. Information Minister of Nigeria. That was National Security Advisor of Nigeria. This is an allegation against Nigeria. And he didn't address you. He has no business with all of you. He's addressing their brothers and sisters in northern Nigeria. That's why he spoke in Hausa. This is your misinformation minister speaking on the same matter, not in English, in Hausa as well. Same way.
To na farko dai wannan ma magana ma ba ma gaskiya bane kwata-kwata. Ganin bai dace ba, ya kamata ya daina yin haka din.
Because in that Chiani's interview, he indeed alleged that France is empowering these terrorists in collaboration with Tinubu to destabilize Niger Republic. That is what they have now termed, we have no plan of staging war or going to war with the Niger Republic. How many of you remember last year when, not even just last year, this year, when I reiterated that even though Tinubu failed in fulfilling the allegiance of invading the Niger Republic, which he later denied, that it is not over. There are other clandestine plans to still invade the country. Even though Tinubu denied, but you see this memo, this is the memo that David Undeyi exposed that prevented Nigeria from going to war with Niger. A member of the team that was saddled with the responsibility of drafting the soldiers to move them to the border of Niger, to Sokoto, precisely. Last year, they took a picture of this memo and sent it to David Undeyi. That, see, we are about to invade Niger. Can you do something about it? And David published this. And this is the memo that got Nigeria's DSS, NIA, this Ribadump and his other guys to attempt that, they attempted to kidnap David Undeyi in Ghana last year. Yes, they almost succeeded. They would have, you see what they did to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They would have done the same thing to David. But by a dint of luck, right, he managed not to be at the location they expected him to be, which they went at the time. If not, David Undeyi would either be dead now or he would be in Nigerian prison as a trophy for Ribadump. That memo stopped the war. The whole plan was that the operation will last for just 2 days. And within 4 hours, they are going to arrest this junta in Niger, Nigerian army. They will invade the Niger Republic, go straight to Niamey, go straight to the government house and grab these guys. And boom, the memo leaked. Tinubu did not write the National Assembly of trying to invade another country. And this is the foundation of all of this. So when the guy came out and said, their plan this time around is to use Nigeria and this, border terrorists to destabilize Niger Republic and give a reason why, yes, maybe they can still go on and invade. So this guy are now saying that his allegations are baseless. And I've heard some of you who have said that too, that the allegation of that guy is baseless. Some are saying that some of the allegations are baseless. Some of what he said, you do want to agree that they might be true. To you, it's like it should be investigated. Some of the stuff he said should be investigated. But others, there are some other things he said, they are just like baseless. Baseless. You are dealing with Tinubu, you say baseless. Nah. Another thing is that APC, they have destroyed whatever little trust that people could have for their own governments. See, these are criminals who want us to be patriotic. These are dishonest criminals who want us to be patriotic. They want you and I to be on the side of our country. But these guys are not patriotic to Nigeria. Every of their action is anti-Nigeria. Sure you get? These guys have committed treasonable felony against Nigeria. But because they are in power, you understand? So who is going to arrest them? Who is going to probe them? Nobody. But in a sane climb, Tinubu and his gang, they will be arrested for treason for what they have done to Nigeria with no consultation with anybody. With what these guys have done to Nigeria, they will be standing trial for treason. Unfortunately, who is going to do that? So there is no trust. Nobody trusts them. And because of this, which they know themselves, that's why they are saying that this Chiani of Niger is banking on the lack of trust between the leaders of Nigeria and the led, which is true. So they are now trying to widen that mistrust. Number one, National Security Advisor of Nigeria, okay, is defending an allegation, and he is using allegation to defend allegation, so that it can be like, don't mind him. No, don't worry, don't mind him. Meanwhile, we have other obvious evidence that shows that we should mind him. How many of you remember this?
Zai ƙara ci gaba da taimaka mana wajen ciccire abinda masu fashe wannan wanda su yan boko suke sa mana hanya, yana kashe mana jama'a da sauransu. Yan boko haram ba yan boko ba, yan boko haram. Ai amfanin abin shine zai taimaka mana inda suka sa su, za mu je mai amfani da kayayyakin mu ciro. So abu ne mai muhimmanci su taimaka mana akan yakin nan da ake yanzu. Taimako daidai gwargwado kasar UK tana mana kuma.
See that one? It's confirming that true, we have, the French army, we have the British who are here. We are working together. We are training together to protect northern Nigeria. That video is just like about 2 weeks old, though. It's not like 2 years, 1 year, or what have you. Just about two weeks old. Nigerians who were killed in the last 1 year on record, 614,000 Nigerians were slaughtered by terrorists, and it didn't even make it to the media. Like, no. The day I saw that data, I was like, what? How? Like, under Bukwari, the total recorded the number of people killed, as loud as the media was at the time, they are under 100,000 in 8 years. How could over 600,000 people killed? And we did not even see the uproar anywhere. It's like, oh, you don't understand. They have used so many distractions, so many media propaganda to kill some of the news. Yeah, in the last 1 year. Terrorism has become an industry that is so flourishing in Nigeria that you reporting it will be considered a criminal. On Monday evening, the ISWAP terrorists in Borno, they use drone to deliver bombs in bombing the military base in Borno. According to them, 6 soldiers sustained injuries, but they won't tell us what kind of injury. Before they finally shut it down, shot the 3 of the drones down. Then on Wednesday, 2 days ago, the same ISWAP terrorists in Yobe State carried out another drone attack. It's not like military drone, just the normal drone that could carry a certain kilogram of, a bomb. And they also bombed the military base there. Again, they used the media to play it down. And the media in Nigeria, they have always been in collusion. They colluded with these terrorists as well as this Nigeria military, which happened to be the uniformed terrorist. Other bodies that are supposed to gather intelligence reports that the military and the rest of them should be acting upon before they act, and before they do anything, right? Intelligence gathering, intelligence reports. Now, this same military gathered intelligence reports that saw them, yesterday, 2 days ago rather, that they bombed 2 communities in Sokoto State, where tens of people died as well. You know? But what did the Chief of Defense Staff say about that? He blamed the victims.
There has been a recent incident yesterday in Sokoto where the Nigerian Air Force was said to have launched an attack. And the Sokoto state government has reacted that some victims lost their lives. So what can you say about that?
Well, so if you listen to my speech, I made that clear, that we have individuals that still harbor those people. And then once you do that, you make yourself a legitimate target. And our appeal is please do not allow them hang around you. Do not give them any support in whatever means. Because once you do that, you make yourself a legitimate target. The incident that happened yesterday, we are keen to this was an operation we conducted, we followed up and ensure that we avoided mistakes as much as possible. If there were other mistakes that came up, we are going to investigate and see. But I can tell you from what we have seen, because we have the videos, the videos of everything that happened, there were criminals in that place. Anybody that toyed with them was part of them. And so we'll continue to do our operation into North. Like I said again, we want to appeal to media. Please always understand that also those guys want to use the media to send their own message across. And that's why it's dangerous not to just agree to whatever it is they're saying. We have been transparent since we have come on board. Everything that's happened, we look at it and we'll tell you. Anything we don't know, we will find out and get back to you. But I can assure you, we'll continue with the work we're doing. It will not relent. We will avoid civilian casualties as long as even they too avoid staying where the criminals are. Because it makes the job extremely very difficult if we say wherever they are with the criminals, then we should avoid. I think that's one. But we want to appeal to, if you are not with them, please leave their area and come out. So that it gives us the ability to deal with them precisely.
You hear them? Yeah, he blamed the victims. People were bombed in their homes. Civilians were bombed in their own homes. And what did the Chief of Defense Staff have to say? People too must stop mixing with the terrorists. We will continue to do what we are doing. We will continue our work. Yeah? We advise the people that they must. Terrorists that are ransacking their communities, invading villages and all that. So, I'm sorry. These are the professional soldiers that justified bombing civilians, including women and children, in their village. Not be say these guys were like, these people were in the forest with the terrorists too. They are in their homes, inside their houses, and they dropped bombs on them. And the only thing they could say is that they too should stop mixing up with the terrorists. How? Nigeria is a place where do everything you can not to be a victim. You understand? Because even your fellow victims, they will blame you. Yeah, the voluntary slaves. It's your fault. Even you. Why did you allow terrorists to come to your village? Is it my business? Is it my duty to ward off terrorists? Or the duty of the security forces to protect us? Next time, when the terrorists come to your village, tell them to leave. Okay? You have to tell them to leave because you don't want trouble. Because, don't be a victim. On the part where they are dropping a bomb via drones, listen to what their spokesperson had to say.
In the incident that happened on the 25th of December, I've already explained that operation will have taken place earlier. But because of the painstaking measures that we know that we need to put in, we decided to hold it to make sure that those that were seen at that location were indeed terrorists, Laprawa terrorist group. And we did that by sending human intelligence to confirm And they got back to us and confirmed that yes. And it was thereafter that we carried out a joint operation, a combined synchronized operation with the Air Force and ground forces. Air Force carried out precision strikes using precision munitions. After the strikes, the military, the land component on the ground moved on the site. And what did they confirm? They confirmed that yes, the strikes hit the objective. That is that. I've said so much on that. Now, I spoke about secondary explosions because one of the targets was a logistic base of the terrorists in the community. When I talk of logistic base, I'm talking of armed cartridges and poles that were kept there. So naturally, when the munition hits that, there will be secondary explosion arising from that, which will generate, other things flying in the air, which was what led to the death of about 10 persons that were reported. The 10 persons reported were not hit directly by the airstrikes. The people that were hit directly by the airstrikes were the Lakora terrorist group, and they were burnt beyond recognition. Now, to the report about the usage of drones. I don't think that there's need